Evening, dear student. Today we discussed the next type of selectivity, that is enantioselectivity. In previous lecture we will discuss the chemoselectivity and regioselectivity of catalyst. So chemoselectivity, selectivity for functional group, and regioselectivity, selectivity for sites. So in this lecture we will discuss what is enantioselectivity and diastereoselectivity. So enantioselectivity, you know what is meant by enantiomers. Enantiomers are non-superimposable mirror images of each other. So they are mirror images of each other, but they are non-superimposable mirror images of each other. So the main condition for this enantioselectivity is that your substrate or your reactant must be achiral. So this is the important condition for enantioselectivity. A achiral molecule, substrate or reactant gives enantioselectivity when catalyst used for the reaction. So the substrate must be achiral. Let us see the example, that is carbon double bond. Here we get C double bond O R1, here NH C double bond O R, this is R2, this is R3, and this is another substituent, that is one of the hydrogen is there, that is considered. So this is a achiral molecule or substrate which is undergo hydrogenation reaction, On hydrogenating, this carbon-carbon double bond get converted into carbon-carbon single bond. So we get here C, here hydrogen, here we get, so this group is above the plane, that is C double bond O R dash, here NH C double bond O R2, and here the R3. So we get this product, as well as we get another product, that is CH R3. Here this group, in this case it is below the plane, that is C double bond O R dash, and here NH C double bond O R2. So if the substrate is achiral, so in presence of catalyst, if this substrate undergo hydrogenation reaction, when this substrate undergo hydrogenation reaction, we get a product that is the enantiomers of each other. So they are mirror images of each other. This is regarding to the enantioselectivity. When the substrate is achiral, which is on reaction in presence of catalyst, gives enantiomer. So let us see the second type of selectivity, that is diastereoselectivity. The next important selectivity, that is diastereoselectivity. Diastereoselectivity. So diastereomers, what is the difference between enantiomer and diastereomers? Enantiomers are non-superimposable mirror images of each other, while diastereomers are not mirror images of each other. So what is the condition for diastereoselectivity? In this case, the substrate must have one stereogenic center, that is, the substrate must contain one chiral carbon. So let us see the example for this diastereoselectivity, that is carbon, here OH group is there, hydrogen is above the plane, here one of the R group is there, here carbon-carbon double bond is there, hydrogen, one of the chlorine is there. So this is your a substrate. If you consider this carbon number 1, let us consider this is carbon number 1. So this is a chiral carbon because it is attached to 4 different substituents, that is hydroxyl group, hydrogen, methyl group, and this another substituent. Therefore it is a stereo center, so which is on hydrogenation, it undergo hydrogenation reaction, which undergo hydrogenation reaction. So what is the product we get here? We get C, Cl, C. This OH is below the plane, this hydrogen above the plane, this is one CH3. Here the double bond get converted into single bond. Here this is your methyl group which is above the plane, and one of the hydrogen it is below the plane. So we get one product. Similarly, another product which is obtained in which the methyl group is below the plane. This hydrogen is above the plane, this is chlorine, this is your hydrogen, and this is your CH3. So for diastereoic selectivity, the substrate must have stereogenic center which is on hydrogenating. We get a product that are diastereomers of each other. So they are not mirror images of each other. So how they are diastereomers of each other? If we consider this is carbon number 1, this is carbon number 2. If we consider the RS configuration for both the carbon atom, let us consider for this carbon number 1. So if you consider RS configuration, this OH have a first priority, this group, this whole group is considered as a second priority, this methyl group is considered as a third priority. So 1, 2, 3. So it is S configuration, but hydrogen is above the plane. Therefore, in this case, S configuration is converted into R configuration. So if you consider a second molecule in which same is the condition. So this carbon and this carbon is same. So in this case also S configuration is converted into R configuration. So both the carbon having R configuration in both the molecules. Let us consider, if you consider a second molecule, second carbon, not molecule, a second carbon in which chlorine having a first priority, this group, the whole group, that is carbon, OH, HCH3, it having a second priority, and this methyl having a third priority. So 1, 2, 3, it is R configuration, hydrogen is below the plane. Therefore, it having a R configuration. But in this case, if you consider this carbon, this chlorine having first priority, this whole group is having second priority, this methyl having third priority, and this hydrogen having fourth priority. But in this case, the hydrogen is above the plane. Therefore, in this case, the R configuration is converted into S configuration. R configuration is converted into S configuration. So what do you get? So in first molecule, the carbon number 2, this is carbon number 1, this is carbon number 1, this is carbon. Carbon number 2 having R configuration, carbon number 1 having R configuration. While in second molecule, carbon number 1 having R configuration and carbon number 2 having S configuration. So this is the condition for diastereoselectivity. So RR is converted into SR, then they are diastereomers of each other. So for diastereoselectivity, there should be a stereogenic center, that is chiral carbon in substrate which is on hydrogenating, gives two molecules which are diastereomers of each other, that is RR configuration is converted into SR configuration. So this is regarding to the selectivity, that is chemoselectivity, regioselectivity, enantioselectivity and diastereoselectivity. So chemoselectivity stands for the selectivity for functional group, regioselectivity stands for the selectivity for particular sites. Enantioselectivity, a chiral molecule is converted into a product which are enantiomers of each other, while in diastereoselectivity, a substrate must have a stereogenic center and the product which is obtained that are diastereomers of each other. So this is regarding to the selectivity of catalyst. Let us see the next important point. Or most important features of the catalyst is that the energy of activation. Energy of activation. So with the help of energy profile diagram, we will discuss the difference between catalyzed reaction and uncatalyzed reaction. If you consider a energy profile diagram, that is the energy versus the progress of a reaction. So in this graph, if you consider, we get such a kind of graph. Here the reactant, here we get a product, and this much energy which is required, this is considered as the energy of activation in absence of catalyst, that is, this is considered as uncatalyzed reaction without catalyze. So we required a large amount of energy, large amount of activation energy to convert this reactant into the product, but in presence of catalyst, so catalyst increases the rate of reaction by decreasing the energy of activation, therefore it will provide different path. So in this case, this reactant is converted into this product. So this is a curve for catalyzed reaction, energy of activation for this catalyzed reaction. So if we see the difference between uncatalyzed, non-catalyzed or catalyzed reaction, the energy of activation is very low in presence of catalyst. So this is also the important features of any catalyst. Catalyst decreases the energy of activation which is required to convert this reactant into the product. So this is also the important feature. Let us see the next important feature of any catalytic process or catalyst, that is the catalytic cycle. That is the catalytic cycle. So catalytic cycle. So what is this catalytic cycle? The catalytic cycle must include the catalyst. The main condition is that, so cycle must include catalyst. Second, the intermediate is also a part of catalytic cycle, part of a cycle. So first, catalyst and intermediates both are the part of the cycle, catalytic cycle. Third, the substrate and your product, substrate and product are not a part of a cycle, not a part of a cycle, are not a part of a cycle. So let us see with help of some simple reaction, that is A plus B in presence of catalyst convert into product. So let us see a catalytic cycle. So catalyst is a part of cycle. So catalyst, it will react with your substrate. So A is your substrate. So which is not a part of a cycle. So here we get K, that is intermediate. K, that is intermediate. Then this K, it will react with another substrate molecule B, another substrate molecule, then it convert into another intermediate, that is L. This is also your intermediate, and this intermediate is again convert into catalyst and eliminate a product. So this is a catalytic cycle. So catalyst and intermediate are the part of catalytic cycle, but the substrate is not a part of the catalytic cycle. So number of times the cycle is generated, then catalytic efficiency also increases. So this is regarding to the important features of catalyst. First important feature is that catalytic efficiency. Second important feature, that is the selectivity of catalyst. Next, the energy of activation, and fourth one, that is the catalytic cycle. in next lecture we will discuss the two type of catalysis, that is homogeneous and heterogeneous catalysis. What is the difference between homogeneous catalysis and heterogeneous catalysis? We are very much interested in homogeneous catalysis, so we are focused on homogeneous catalysis. So before discussing homogeneous catalysis, we will discuss the distinguishing point between homogeneous and heterogeneous catalysis. Thank you.